assurance of human rights, and that Afghan soil should not be used for terrorism, and neighbors are the most worried about that. So that's where it lies.
So does that mean that you will recognize them if they agree those 3 points?
We will collectively take a decision.
So Pakistan itself will not decide on its own?
No, exactly. We think that all the neighbors will get together and we will see how they progress, and then whether to recognize them or not will be a collective decision.
And the fact is that Taliban aren't really going to have an inclusive government, are they? I mean, they haven't even got the non-Taliban people who've helped them into power. They've been excluded so far.
So far, they haven't. They haven't got an inclusive government, as we hoped they would. But then they say that this is just a transition. I'm trying that we should speak to them and ensure that they do have an inclusive government, because there will not be any long-term sustainable peace or stability in Afghanistan unless all the factions, all the ethnic groups are represented.
But I mean, there's something more important than anything to the Taliban government, and that's the kind of purity of their religious ideology. I mean, they're never going to allow women to go to schools or anything like that, are they? Because it cuts across their whole notion of what a society should be.
I think they will allow women to go to schools. They will allow that. As far as we know, they were showed us. So they're doing it. They say they're doing it in phases, but that remains to be seen. Look, John, what they do from now onwards, we can only hope to sort of persuade them and encourage them and incentivize them in that direction. But you know, sitting today, what happens, where they will go, I'm afraid I don't know.
But this is a really good opportunity for you now to say you condemn the excesses of the Taliban, and that you feel that by, for instance, preventing women from getting a decent education once again, they're taking the wrong direction. Would you like to say that to us now?
John, absolutely. Our religion, if anyone has any idea of what our religion was, it was a liberation of women. And so whenever the idea that women should not get educated is just not Islamic. It might have been some rural culture in Afghanistan, but it is nothing to do with religion. And can I say what the Taliban, the statements they have made since they've assumed power, I mean, it's very encouraging. They have said they will have an inclusive government. They have said they'll give women can work, can have education. They will give amnesty to everyone. The soil won't be used for terrorism by anyone. You know, these are encouraging statements.
So you're approving the way the Taliban are operating?
No, I'm approving of what they have said. What happens now, I'm afraid, John, I can't say what happens now. In fact, no one can tell where Afghanistan goes from here. But what we hope and pray, that finally after 40 years, the people of Afghanistan will have peace and stability.
So when you see what's happening in Afghanistan, you must be pretty disgusted, actually, with the way that the Taliban are behaving.
I think, John, what we should hope for and try for is to make them go into that direction. And in the statements they've made. And secondly, you know, Afghans are very strong people. Their women are very strong. I feel give them time and they will assert their rights.
How much time? Years?
A year, 2 years, 3 years. At the
3
moment,
years.
but at the moment, John, it's just too early to say anything, because it's just barely been a month. After 20 years of civil war, they have come back into power. I think it's just a month, 2 months. In a short period of time, we will know the direction they are going.
Well, I think we know it now.
I don't know. I'm an optimist.